I'm the only person in the world who has parts of the German administration. When the Germans left the camp, they burned all the administration. They did not know that I had certain things. I mentioned the name Feierabend, who once crossed my name out at the employment office. Every morning I would go to his office and would give me a copy of the people who had arrived there, who had been set free, very few, who had died, because I would like to see whether friends of mine were among them. The Germans didn't know that I had these copies, so I took them with me to Holland, and I had administration from the office for the warehouse for the clothing of the prisoners from 1934 on. You can see the whole development. And I tried to give it away in America, because America had liberated me. I was grateful to America. It is very difficult to give something away in this country. I tried to go to the archives. The archives can only accept gifts from official persons and institutions. I'm neither a king nor a central bank. Okay, the Pentagon heard about it. They called me. They wanted it. And they gave me the well-known 3-martini lunch. Then I said, I'd like to see the library. And we walked over to the library. Occasionally I would go with my fingers over the books. Dust. Not used. Didn't get it. And then I learned, when I came west, I learned about the Hoover Library of War, Peace and Revolution. They have it. A lot of research has been done. It is so valuable that even I cannot see the originals. They send me copies of it. I have them in Reno. But a lot of research has been done on that stuff.
Going back to what you mentioned about the meals that the Nazis gave you, the coffee/tea,
we got
and bread, of course.
Yeah.
Was there anything else?
We got a cup of hot brown water, coffee or tea. At 12 o'clock we got soup. Hot water with potato skins, with the vegetables, and we had a magnifying glass. Maybe you could discover a piece of meat. Now it was very difficult to get your meal, because when you're the first in the row, you get the water. The last one will get the thick part. So I had to learn where to get into the row to get the best part of the kettle. Then when you had it, what would you do? You were so hungry. You want to eat it fast. But if you would eat fast, you would be finished and you would still see the others eating. Eating was very difficult to do. You had to learn all those things. In the evening, we got 2 slices of bread, one day jam, the other day cheese, the other day piece of ham or whatever. We got 900 calories. That's not enough. You cannot live on 900 calories. So we ate everything that we could get. Worms, mice, rats. Once there was a cat in our barrack, and somebody said that the cat won't be here very long. It wasn't. When I had that, when I got out of the difficulty with my being central in transport, when I got out of that, I got a good job. I became the second secretary of the warehouse for clothing for the prisoners. Now, our office was next to the kitchen. We gave good clothes to the people who worked for the well-being of the camp, hospital, kitchen. Therefore, the kitchen gave us extra food. I had a loaf of bread every day that I didn't need. What do you do with it? You cannot divide a loaf of bread in 30,000 pieces.
No.
So I picked 3 people of whom I thought they were decent and shared the food with them. You play God, but you decide about the lives of other people. You never know whether you make the right decision. There are difficult things.
What was in your opinion, what was the best food you got there at the kitchen job? Or
when I was in the warehouse for the clothing, I had good food. We got food from the kitchen. There was a pillar somewhere. We had taken the brick out and put a hot plate in there, and I put the bricks again in, and we cooked our own meals. We had excellent food.
Excellent.
I have seen cannibalism at the end of the war. People who had died, they would cut off the meat and roast it and eat it.
And you didn't eat anyone, did you?
No, we seemed to taste pretty good. Donald Party, the plane in Peru.
And did you ever try to escape?
No.
Do you know anyone that did?
Yes, I know one person who escaped. It was a few days before the liberation, say on April 26, 27. On April 25, 1945, in the middle of the day we were counted, but not by block, by nationality. And then the Russians were marched off. Later on we learned they had been machine gunned down 25 kilometers east of Dachau. Apparently the Allied had come so close that Dachau had to be moved more towards the east. It had been seen by the planes of the Allies. Remember, at that time in spring 45, the Allies had a supremacy in the air, and the Allies sent wave after wave of plane over the concentration camp, flying around, so the Germans couldn't get us out. So the Russians were killed off, but then the others, all of us had to stay within the barracks. And then on the 28th of April, during the night, we heard a lot of noise. On the 29th we woke up, we saw the white flag on the camp. But the machine guns, the towers were still directed towards us, we couldn't escape. And then a few minutes before 5, the first American on a motorcycle came around, and then the jeeps followed, and we were liberated.
So this was 1945?
On April 29, 1945, 3rd American Army. The Americans were upset when they saw us, skeletons. Yeah, I was well fed, but they were so angry they gave machine guns to a few prisoners who immediately shot the guards around it. That was of course unfair, because but that was the mood. Then that night all of us got a loaf of bread and a can of hash. That night 300 people died overeaten.
And so, like you said, the Americans were sad when they saw all the prisoners.
Say it again?
The Americans were sad when they saw all the prisoners.
Upset. Not sad, they were angry.
Upset and angry. Wow.
Then the Americans, the next day a colonel came, and then we were rationed skim milk, cereal. But the most important thing is we had to be disinfected, because we had lice with carrying Rocky Mountain fever, DDT.
you know how many Holocaust survivors are alive today?
I have no idea.
No idea.
I know nothing about the Holocaust.
Oh, okay.
Except, of course, you saw the arrivals of the Jews in Dachau, but I know very little about the Holocaust.
Okay. Do you still reunite with?
No. My best friend was from Poland, but because of the Iron Curtain, you couldn't correspond. I have a Dutch friend. He was one of the three I helped with food, and I see him in Holland. Interesting guy. He never worked in his life. His parents are unbelievably wealthy. Van Houten's chocolate. They own Van Houten's chocolate brand. He's one of the first to get an MBA from Harvard, and he was the first Dutchman to fly solo from New York to Amsterdam. I'm still in touch with him. Yeah, we never talk about the camps. Except the last time, 2 years ago. Last time I was in Holland. Then we talked about the camps. They tried to get some data about what life really was like in the concentration camps, and not always pointing the finger to the Germans, but also point the fingers towards the prisoners. And various prisoners in Holland are now in jail because of their ill behavior in the camps.
Oh.
Yeah, are now in prison is wrong, because these people have died, most likely.
Yeah. There was another survivor like you who came to my school back in 2008, and they did, my school put on a play called "And Then They Came for Me." It was about the diary of Anne Frank, but the person who came was Eva Schloss, I believe. And so
this was Jewish.
yes.
Yeah.
But you're not Jewish?
Oh no.
Okay. Do you have a religion, or
I have one?
do you have a religion?
No. I go to Quaker meetings.
Okay. Great. Do you at any time have flashbacks to
Yes.
what happened?
Still have that.